Another Earth, 2011. Another Earth is an interesting film in which Earth suddenly finds itself in the vicinity of another Earth. The story revolves around the lives of two people, Rhoda, a young woman who received admission to MIT, and John, who recently had an accident and lost his family. As the second Earth approaches, their lives become intertwined. Plot: Rhoda is a young woman who has received admission to MIT. She goes out to party, gets drunk, and drives home. She's listening to the radio and hears an announcement about the discovery of an Earth-like planet. She continues driving while trying to locate this Earth-like planet. Drunk, driving, and with her eyes on the sky, she collides with a car that is otherwise stopped at a traffic light at full speed. Yeah, I didn't understand the MIT admissions part either. The stopped car is John's. Rhoda ends up killing his wife and son who are in the car and leaves John in a coma. Because Rhoda is a minor, John is never told who his hitter was. Rhoda's MIT plan is clearly ruined, and instead, she heads to jail. Once out, she can't forgive herself for being the reckless idiot she was and decides to take the janitor job. Meanwhile, the other Earth has been getting much closer over the years. There's no explanation as to what this other, random, planet-like planet is and why it suddenly appeared. Or how it doesn't interfere with the gravity fields of the other planets in the solar system, even Earth. Wouldn't the tides be massively affected by an approaching planet? John finally comes out of his coma. Rhoda decides she'll approach him, tell him who she is, and try to apologize. When John opens the door, Rhoda gets the better of her and pretends to be a cleaner from a service called Maid in Haven. While John initially asks her to leave, he changes his mind and allows her to clean the house. He even asks her to come back the next week because he's happy with the service. Rhoda is nervous and says it could be someone else who might show up. A week later, Rhoda shows up again as his cleaner. By this time, the other Earth is quite close, and they're trying to make contact with the people there. There's a live feed from SETI director Dr. Jones trying to reach Earth 2. What happens here is that another Dr. Jones from Earth 2 answers, and when they exchange notes, they realize they were born on the same date and share a similar past. What this means is that it is not another Earth-like planet, but rather it somehow appears to be a copy of Earth itself. Rhoda continues cleaning John's house for a while, and the two begin to get close. John notices that Rhoda has washed one of his wife's sweaters, which he was keeping, and loses it. He yells at Rhoda and asks her to leave. He later meets with her to apologize for his behavior. He even hints that he checked with her company and they don't have anyone with her name on their payroll either. He takes her to an auditorium and plays music for her with a saw. Yes, a saw. I've only seen this in comedy movies. If you hit a saw and bend it, you can create a melody. The two become romantically involved. He loses respect for her, and she loses her disgust for him. Rhoda also enters an essay contest in which the winner would be selected to go to Earth 2 on a space expedition. She is selected. Rhoda tells John that she won the competition. While John initially makes a toast to her victory, he tells her that she shouldn't leave. She feels the two have a chance at a relationship. Rhoda can't take it anymore, so she tells John she's the teenager who drove recklessly and killed his wife and child. Obviously, John freaks out and asks her to leave his house and his life. Meanwhile, Rhoda's parents find out the hard way, through the news, that she's going to Earth 2. Rhoda hears the theory that from the moment Earth 2 was visible in the sky, there may have been small shifts in events between the two planets. Perhaps the two planets, safe to assume Earths from two parallel universes, became visible to each other as soon as they began following minor altered paths, altered timelines. The more the paths, timelines, diverged, the closer the Earths became. Rhoda realizes that the first time Earth 2 was visible was when it had that accident. She begins to believe that perhaps the accident didn't happen on Earth 2 and goes to John's house to explain. John nearly strangles her, after which she calms down a bit. She explains the theory and leaves him her ticket to Earth 2. She continues being a janitor when she sees John preparing to leave for Earth 2 on television. Many months pass, about 3 or 4 months as fall has turned to winter. Rhoda returns home and finds herself. She sees herself standing there, but the other person looks very different because of the way she dresses, very executive. This is her from the other Earth. The film ends. Comments. Rhoda finds herself alternating after months. Let's assume the last scene was on Earth 1. This means that Rhoda from Earth 2 has come to Earth 1. Rhoda, from Earth 2, didn't leave at the same time John leaves Earth 1. This leaves the question of why it took Rhoda so long to arrive. Since the planets have aligned in their stories, this delay isn't due to a technological problem. The fact is, this can be explained as follows: on Earth 2, the accident didn't happen, so the action of John from Earth 1 traveling because he lost his family in the accident doesn't happen on Earth 2, so the original traveler that was Rhoda was faithfully fulfilled. On the other hand, the trip could only have been planned by Earth 1. In Earth 2, no trip was planned until after meeting John from Earth 1, and it's possible that Rhoda was chosen because of the story told by John from Earth 1. So, Rhoda from Earth 2 travels to meet her Earth 1 counterpart, and that's where the story ends. What would be Rhoda 2's motive for meeting Rhoda 1? Perhaps simply curiosity, and maybe also to give her other Earth self a little encouragement. So, Rhoda from Earth 2 very possibly went to MIT and went to meet her Earth 1 self as a successful woman. As for Earth 1 John, it's quite possible he met his Earth 2 family, that is, he saw his son and wife again. From my point of view, I don't know if this is therapeutic. Not in my opinion. I think the wound that was healing could reopen, and the healing process could begin all over again. But if a psychologist or psychiatrist comes by, I hope they'll help us answer this question: was it really a good thing for Earth 1 John to see his alternate son and wife again, who are living happily with their alternate? For my part, I'll leave you with this summary. I hope you liked it. From my point of view, the best part of the film was the relationship Rhoda and John developed. They shared a deep wound caused by the same event. By getting together, they were each other's cure. I look forward to your comments, likes, dislikes, and subscriptions. Bye.